What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk about SoFi. A lot of things are happening to SoFi, and even right now we did hit a new 52-week low. So I'm going to break it down for you. Is it time to run from SoFi or to buy big time? I'm going to be talking about that, especially considering as well, a lot of people are now saying that SoFi is extremely oversold. So I'm going to again break that down, go over some updated data points, and tie it all together with some technical analysis at the end. But before I get into any of that, making sure you guys hit smash whatever you want to do to that thumbs up. Greatly appreciate that. And don't forget to pop over to my Discord, link in the description below. A lot of good people, a lot of good chat. And with that said, let's get right to it. So as you can see on the live ticker, currently $6.18, 31.2 million as far as overall volume, 48.7 the average, and that is a 6-month average. And like I already mentioned, we did hit a new 52-week low today. We did hit a low of $6.06, which is mind-blowing if you ask me. And block volume 5.8 million shares being purchased by institutions and hedge funds just today alone. So there is some positive news that has been coming out today though, and that is largely linked to this. So Biden is not canceling most of the student debt. So at the end of the day, it's still up for debate, but he is still open to canceling roughly about $10,000 of debt. And by no means this is what SoFi or its investors wanted to hear. But when it comes down to it though, like I said, SoFi is very, very oversold. I'm going to do a little bit more technical analysis and break that down at the end, but there's a lot of articles now coming out that are very much bullish, and that is a very good change of events because SoFi for the longest time has been manipulated from institutions, hedge funds, articles. Absolutely everyone and their dog has always really been against SoFi for some reason. Everyone seems to be scared of innovation and change, especially more so in the banking sector. That hands down is the oldest sector. But when it comes down to it though, there is a lot of benefits, and outside of even the student loans right now, they are moving to crypto. They have a lot of good acquisitions that they did do that is going to be very profitable for them in 2024 to 2025 and onward. But when it comes down to it, a lot of people don't necessarily want to wait that long for their investment. Unfortunately, in this day and age, people want to become millionaires overnight. They don't want to do the actual due diligence and wait and be patient because they hate volatility. They want to, like I said, be millionaires overnight. And unfortunately, when it comes down to SoFi, 2022 is going to be a very big year. Again, just showing you this, looking on the 1-year chart, we hit a high of $24, and look at this, $6.23. We are absolutely so cheap. That is insane. But like I said, a lot of people are big down, roughly about 60%, if not more. I've been one of the lucky ones. I've been able to average down multiple different times. I did do my last buy at $8.10. So I do want to talk on a couple different things, one of which is short interest, because short interest, in my opinion, is very interesting, and it has proven pure manipulation in SoFi. Looking at the short interest right now, almost 21%. That is extremely high. Utilization is 100%, showing 100% of the available shares to short are currently out. And shorts are definitely taking advantage of the downtrend today. So they are closing out some positions, 0.61%, which works out to be 2.25 million shares being returned. And cost to borrow. Cost to borrow has always been something that you need to watch for, because in order for a good potential short squeeze to occur, you need a high utilization, which SoFi does have. You need a high short interest, which SoFi does have, but you need also a high cost to borrow. And unfortunately, SoFi has never really had that. If anything, it's been negative at some stages. And I've brought that up in multiple videos. Sometimes you see cost to borrow minimum is actually negative, which shows and represents that brokers out there are physically paying people to short SoFi, which if you think about that, like, that is mind-blowing. That is hands down the pure definition of manipulation. And I do find this upcoming earnings for SoFi is going to be very interesting because there's a lot of huge optimism for that as far as earnings per share, revenue. Obviously, those are the main criteria, and also future guidance. Future guidance is going to be a very big deal for SoFi and play a very vital part in either which direction it goes. If it transitions to lower or higher, but this is one thing a lot of people are coming to the conclusion, do I buy or run, especially before earnings? And looking right here, you can see that there is a lot of people that is betting for their upcoming earnings. Keep in mind, earnings is on May the 10th. And so looking right here, there is a $6 put, especially based on where we are at. That is very bearish. And it is a fairly big order, $416,000. And looking right here, $6.50 as far as the strike price. And that is on May the 20th. And that was done today. So overall, even on the options, it is more so very mixed. But I just want to break this down for you as far as large orders today alone. So right now, $219,000 worth of options being done today, with 100% of them being positive. And yesterday, despite the massive sell-off, $2.86 million worth of options with 71% positive, and overall last week 75% positive. So by looking at that, you would assume that there is a huge upside potential coming for SoFi. But looking at this, the put/call ratio, you can see it has been going up and up, insinuating that more and more institutions are physically buying puts. So it's a very interesting kind of dynamic that is going on. Clearly, a lot of big money think that is going to go down, but as of recently though, there's a lot of calls and positive options being done. So this is why, again, it makes things very difficult to determine if it's the time to run or buy right now, because unfortunately there has been a lot of hints of bullish signs ever since the $10 mark, and like I said, we are down significantly even from that alone. So there is one additional thing I do want to bring to your attention. I'm always a very big fan of social sentiment as far as the underlying asset, what people feel about it, and when it comes down to it, I have been bringing this up the last couple of videos, even in addition to posting it on Twitter quite frequently. So looking at interactive brokers, you can see as of right now, this is on a 1 week basis, it is negative. But when it comes down to looking at even more so on the 1 month chart, it is very much negative, and it has been negative for the last little bit. So this is one thing as well. Nobody wants to catch a falling knife by any means. But we are getting to very pivotal points, more so on the technicals, that does show and represent a nice breakout. So I'm just going to explain what that is. On a side note, if you are looking for a good broker that has a lot of good charts, take a look at my interactive brokers link in the description below and also the chat. Just click on the link and you can play around on SoFi. It has a lot of good information. But in addition to that, there is some positive things coming out for their earnings. So I'm just going to be touching on that. So as far as some analyst forecasts for their upcoming earnings, like I said, earnings per share, there's going to be a lot of big things coming for SoFi, but more specifically revenue. So revenue upcoming, the estimates, and there's 7 analysts that are providing estimates on SoFi, 286 million. And almost looking at every previous quarter, we always are above the estimates. So that is a very positive thing. Even in addition to their debt, oddly enough, they are assuming that is going to be significantly higher. So I do think that is going to be a lot lower. So when it comes down to it though, I feel that this upcoming earnings is going to play a very big part in SoFi's reversal. So hands down, there is going to be a lot of volatility this week, especially considering as well, there is going to be the Fed meeting on May the 4th. So keep that also in mind, because when it comes down to investing right now, there's a lot of different ways a lot of growth stocks is going to go. A lot of downward pressure, and even looking at the technicals right now, it's very much mixed. So I have the 50, 100, 200-day moving averages, Bollinger Bands, RSI, stochastic, and momentum. Momentum is very important. Like I said, going back to that social sentiment, you need buyers to want to get into SoFi. No matter what the scenario, you need capital to want to get into SoFi. So right now, it is very much negative. You can see where my cursor is. Anything below that shows that we are physically losing buyers on a daily basis. And looking at stochastic, we are extremely oversold. And looking at stochastic, we are extremely oversold. More specifically, we're at 5. No defined trend as of right now, but I have not seen it been this flat for quite some time. RSI is also at 29. And the reason why I have RSI on here is typically a lot of institutions have those 2 indicators as part of their algorithm to signal buying opportunities. RSI, typically anything below 30 is a very good buying opportunity, as stochastic at 20. So it is a happy moment right now for both of those indicators. And looking on the actual chart, lower percent of the Bollinger Band, well below all the moving averages. And like I said, we're getting to very pivotal points. Looking right here, we are trading between the S3 and the S2. So $4.80 is the S3. This is why a lot of institutions are having, as far as their projections, being below $4.80, which is another example of manipulation in my opinion, because I don't see it getting below 5 hands down. But let me know in the comments below what you do think about that. On the contrary, the S2 is at $6.81. So that is the next thing for us to watch for. But as well, similarly, when we go down, there is going to be a lot of resistance when we are trying to break out of that. So just keep that in mind as far as more of a trading activity in the short term, because I do see a lot of volatility this week in particular, especially leading into that Fed meeting, which is on May the 4th. So going back to my main question at the very beginning, is it the time now to buy or just to run from SoFi? I want to say I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence. But if you are a very long-term investor, because like I said, a higher interest rate environment, SoFi is always going to flourish, 1,000,000%. But I think in the short term, there's going to be a lot more downside potentially that does come. So if you are looking to start a new position, I possibly might wait, especially until after the Fed meeting, which again is on May the 4th. But if you are a long-term investor and have that mentality, these are amazing prices if you ask me, but it might not necessarily be the bottom. So again, just take that how you see that. Let me know in the comments below what you do feel about that. But with that, don't forget to smash that thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. As well, don't forget to pop over to my Discord, link in the description below. It's a free chat, a lot of good people. And with that said, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on SoFi.